Hi and welcome to the Creative Treehouse. My name is Robin Broom and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. I'm so glad you joined me in the Treehouse today. Today we have a fun fold card, one of my favorites. I love fun fold cards. And this is using the Petal Park bundle, and it's the Petal Park stamp set. And it is the Petal Park, or the Petal Park Builder Punch or something like that. So it's these two. Punches are fun. Punches are, if you're just starting out, they're a great way to get started when you don't have the stamp cut and emboss machine. So punches are much more inexpensive. So that was how I started. But this is, let me show you what this card does. It kind of pops up like that. So it's really cool, like a triangular, it's just cool. So, and I like the colors and everything about it. So we're gonna make one of these today. Let me go through all the measurements and stuff and tell you all of those. They'll also be on my blog, creativetreehouse.blog. So you don't have to write them down right now. They'll be written down for you there. So we start with a piece of Bubble Bath, and isn't that a fun name? That's one of the new colors, and it is your normal 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, but also scored at, I believe it's 2.5. Let me double check on that. No, it's 2 1/8. That's right, because it has to be half. So 2 1/8. So 4 1/4 and 2 1/8. And that way it folds up. All right, let me move the base out of the way just for a minute. Let's get to some of these. Okay, these are two pieces of basic white that are 3-inch squares. They don't have to exactly be that. These are just used to punch out, stamp and punch out your flowers. So, and then I'll save those. Those are for the inside. You will need 2 pieces of Berry Burst. That's another new color, or relatively new. It's come back. And those are cut at 2 by 5 3/8, and you need 2 of those. And then on top of those, you will have your 2 DSPs, and these are cut at 5 1/8 by 1 3/4. And this came from a new DSP paper pack, and it was it's delightfully eclectic. Something about eclectic is in it for sure. So, and it's just they're completely different, and they're really cool, all different kinds. Very eclectic. Great name for that. Okay, and then we need, for a mat, you will need 1 piece of Berry Burst, and it will be 2 3/4 by 4 1/8. And what goes on top of that mat is a deckled rectangle, and those, as long as you have a piece of basic white that's approximately 2 3/4 by 4 1/8, you will have, which is the same size as that, then it'll be big enough to cut that out. So that's where we're going to stamp our leaves. And then you need a piece of Bubble Bath that's 2 1/4 by just a half of an inch. That's where your sentiment is going to go. And then you'll need 2 pieces of 2 by 3/4, and they should be scored at, this is actually yes, you do need 2 of those. Here's my other one. 2 of these, and this is the mechanism, 2 by 3 1/4, 2 of those. And then this is the mat that goes up underneath the sentiment. And your mat, let me find it real quick, is 2 3/4 by 5/8 of an inch. And again, all these measurements will be on my blog. So now we get to find out how to put all this fun fold card together. So we can go ahead and score the base of ours. The Bubble Bath, we'll just score it here. And we're going to score it this way towards the inside, okay? So it'll be like that. We've got that. And then let's go ahead and adhere our 2 pieces. First, we're going to just put them, I'm going to try something different that I did not do in my original. So let me grab my liquid glue, make sure I've got the one that's flowing well. Yep, it's this one. Okay, so we'll just adhere it with the Tombow glue. Let me flip that over so my pencil measurements don't show up. Okay. All right, oh, I keep wiggling it just a little bit off. Okay, and then the other one. Okay, and then this is where I'm going to try something a little bit differently. The mechanism that pops it up. We were making this card in an online class, and someone had a very great suggestion about the mechanism. So these two pieces are the mechanism, and let me get one of these other ones. What she suggested, which I thought was a brilliant idea, was instead of, because usually you just do it like that and then it goes on top, the stuff, and so you don't really see it. This part, let me explain a little better. Would go on top, and so you don't really see it. It's hidden underneath that. But to make it even more hidden, what you could do is put it right here, up underneath it. So one piece, one half of it is up underneath. So let's give that a whirl and see if that works. I'm going to put just a little bit of glue here, and then I'm going to put it down, adhere it. Let me wiggle it just a little bit. I didn't fold that one. I'm going to get it really close to this score line. Same thing with the other piece. I'm just going to adhere one end down. See if I don't get the glue all over me. I typically do. Okay, so we're going to try it that way. And now we'll put these pieces on. I think it'll work, and I think it'll be good, and it won't show as much. So we need to tuck this under here because we need the other part to pop up. Let's make sure it's still, yeah, I think that'll be great. That was a really good suggestion from a fellow demonstrator named Patty. Thank you, Patty, for that. Okay, and again, we're gonna do like that. Love those colors together. They're just great. Okay, wonderful. So we've got all of that. And you know, while I'm at it, I'm gonna go ahead and, well, maybe not. Never mind. Never mind. We'll keep going. All right. So this is where we're gonna stamp onto this deckled edge. And like I said, I've already taken the stamp cut and emboss machine, and I've run it through the die cut machine using the deckled edge, one of the rectangle deckled edges. And what I think somewhere I already have one that I've done to save on time, but well, I said I did. Oh, here they are, hiding over here. Okay, let me show you. I actually did two of them. So we're stamping with the stamp from that and the Petal Park, and we've got, this is the outline stamp, and this is the interior. So I did Old Olive here, and I did Granny Apple Green for the interior. And if you look, especially this stamp, it is super skinny right there, and when you're pulling it off and pulling it back on with the photopolymer, it's really easy to kind of wiggle that around, and when you wiggle it around, it makes these not line up correctly. So just a tip to be really careful when you do that, because it's very difficult to get it lined back up again. And I'll show you that a little bit, because this one, if you can see right here, it's not lined up very well. And this one is probably, if I remember, possibly even worse. So, but so that's just a word to the wise to do that very carefully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip mine this way, because this end seems to be, it's pretty good. And I'm going to cover this end up with the flowers so you won't notice it. So I don't know if other people have had that same issue, but so just be really careful with it. And once you get it lined up the way you want it, don't move it on your block. All right, so now we've got this part, and then we could probably, I'm going to go ahead and put the flowers on, I believe, and let me show you little tips about the flowers as well. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a square. You can make it a longer piece, whatever, it doesn't matter. And here are the two that you'll be using. This one is for, it's kind of got the little veins or whatever, the little the outline of the flower, and this one is for the center. And for these I used the Berry Burst and then the Bubble Bath for those. And what I found was the easiest, once you get it, and it's not too difficult. But somebody had this wonderful tip of using a sticky note and then using it and taking your punch. And I've actually got a double sticky here. It's two sticky notes together, and then punch it using the sticky note. And if I can get the sticky note back out, unstick it, because it just exactly fits in there. Oh dear. And those are the super sticky notes because it's sticky all over, not just one end. And I'm going to get all my little stickers off. This can be like your mask, and it's just perfect for lining everything up. So, because otherwise when you're doing this, it's really easy to get it kind of whopper jogged, and then you have to cut the paper before you can even punch it, because you've got it off centered and whatever. So this is a great way to do it. And I'll get this inked up, and then I'm just going to kind of use it as a mask or a stencil. I guess a stencil might be a better word for it. And I'm going to see if I can line it up without my head being under there. I may or may not have accomplished that. Let's see. Oh, pretty close. I probably missed some right there. It's hard to do it, not get my head in the way. So, but yeah, we'll let that go. Let me try it one more time. Okay. So if you can put your head right on top of it, it's not a problem at all. But I really don't want you to have to see my head. So, top of my head. Let me try it one more time, see if I can get it any closer. And we'll pick the one that's the best. I think that was closer. Okay, good. And I was not dealing with the leaf. If you are dealing with the leaf at the same time, this is a perfect way to do it, because then now I can go and put my leaf right here, stamp my leaf, and then punch the whole thing instead of having to do them separate. So this is perfect if you need all of those at the same time. All right, now I'm going to do the bubble bath. I could keep the little stencil mask on there, but once I've gotten that on, it's okay, and I'll just use the bubble bath and line it up based on. Let's see if I can do that without putting my head in. Okay, let's see how we did. Aha! Worked really well. Okay. So as you can see, it doesn't have to be as big as this one. 2 inches gives you enough room for a leaf as well. All right, let me get the punch, and we'll slide that in there. If you ever have a piece of paper that you need to punch that's too small, you can use one of the sticky notes, attach it, and use it like as a handle to put it in there. I feel like I don't quite have that in the right spot. Let's see if I can turn it. No, you know what? I think I am going to, after I sat there and said all that about the trimming, I think I put it up far enough that I'm going to have to trim it a little bit to make it work. And you know what? Let me just go ahead and do that, what I said, as a mask, or use the little sticky note, and we will punch it out. And then you've got something to hold on to. That's what I mean by a handle on one that's a little bit smaller. Okay, good. Now I've got several layers there. All right, got it. And we've got all of our, if we can find where they all went sailing across the room to. Where did they all go? I lost another piece down here. Okay, because we will need all of them. And, oh, there's one on my chair. Okay, so let's pull this in, and we can put the flowers on. And I used all 3 flowers. This one I didn't stamp all that, or punch all that well. And I'm going to, since these are sort of messed up, I'm probably gonna work them around and figure out a good way to, there's definitely a space right there that needs a flower. Let's see. That, I believe I had the other ones this way. That'll work. So we'll put them about like that. Now these I put up on dimensionals. You'll need a mini for this one. And let me grab my dimensionals. And you can just use a regular one for each of these. So let me kind of turn him. Let's see, we'll do like that. And one for him. And then, let's see if I've got any of my minis handy. I do. And pop him up. Okay, so that part is almost done. Got all those up. And then what we're going to do is we can go ahead and put the sentiment on right now. And the sentiment comes from a coordinating set, and I've just put that coordinating set up. I think it's called Regency Park, and it's got lots and lots of sentiments in it, and it coordinates beautifully with this. I think it was all part of a suite, an entire suite. All right, and so we're just gonna, I've already stamped it, and it's the Let's Celebrate. And let me put our bubble bath sentiment. It's on bubble bath, but the sentiment I actually stamped in the berry burst. So those are the only 2 colors, pink colors that are going on, and then we've got the 2 green colors. So not a lot of inks needed. All right, and then this one I put actually down completely with the glue, and I didn't pop it up at all. Okay, and I put it, let's see, right here. On my other one, I think I liked the other one better. I stuck that on top. I liked that. So I could add another flower or whatever, but I like this. This is fine. And now we get to use the mechanism and see how this new way will work. So all I'm going to do now is put the glue on these 2 pieces, the 2 mechanism pieces. So, and I think I'm really appreciative to Patty for having this idea, because I think it's a great idea. All right, so, and now it pops up like that. And the only way you really see the mechanism is up underneath it, but look at that. So now you're not seeing it here, whereas in this one, if you look up underneath it, you do see the mechanism. You see this right here. So, and you could have made it any color, didn't have to be the berry burst, but that looks awesome. All right, and now the next thing we need to do is do our inside. And our inside, what we need to do is, what I did was I stamped just a little bit with just the edge. Let me get my original and I'll show you. I stamped just a tiny edge of the green, and then we did the flowers. So let me grab a piece of scratch paper so that I can stamp off. Let's see, I was using the blue there. And let me grab we'll do the old olive. I find it easiest to do the outline and then fill in. I think it's just a lot easier that way, just to line everything up and see it. So I'm gonna stamp there in the old olive, and then I will use the inside with the Granny Apple Green. And I also find it easier when the stamp is a large stamp to bring the ink pad to the stamp. So now the question is, which one did I use? Which end did I use? I think it was that one. All right, let's see how we can line up just this part. All right, that looks pretty good. Yay, all right. I have a funny feeling my dogs are about to go crazy because I think the Amazon man is here. So you're about to hear a lot of excited barking. My apologies in advance. All right. So, well, no, maybe it was just an airplane. Okay, so that is on, and we will go ahead and glue it down. So make sure I got a good idea. All right, and this is just a fun card. Fun folds are just fun. What a good name for them. All right, now what we're gonna do, I want to put this down here, and reason being is you need to know, you don't want to put the flowers down until you know where exactly you want them based on the front of the card. So let's put this on the inside. Ooh, doesn't that look pretty? Okay. All right, now I need to find my other 2 pink flowers that I did. That seems that you watched me do. That disappeared into thin air. I thought, that is so strange. Okay, and we'll grab those when we find them, and I'll show you how to, oh, there they are. There they are. Okay, so what I did is I'm going to use the bigger one as a stopper, and I'm going to put the little one down just normally. So, so like that. So this one's going to be glued down. So with the Tombow glue, and the other one's going to be up on the dimensional, and I'll show you that in just a second. I think it's kind of fun when it goes off the edge just a little bit. All right, this one's going to be dimensional. I'm also going to take this part of it. I don't want it like that. This one gives you a little more strength if you use it like that. So you got 2 petals touching instead of just one. Another thing that you can do is use the thick basic white, and I've done that on some of mine as well. All right, so when we do it like that, you can decide where you want this to stop. If I wanted it to stop way over here, I'd put the flower this here or whatever. So I think that I like, let's see, how about that? Is that good enough? Or maybe, I think I like that. All right, so now I'll put a dimensional under that one. Grab my dimensionals. You know what? I think I'm on this one, instead of using 1 big one, I'm going to use 2 small ones. Okay. And remember to put it to where both petals are touching. And let's see how that lines up. There. And so it stands up. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it's really cool. So you could display it a number of different ways. And I like that so much. Love the color combinations and everything. So that is how you make this triangular card. I think that's what a triangular fun fold. That's what we'll call it. So that is it from the Treehouse. A great project. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you have subscribed to the YouTube channel. If you haven't, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And also, you might want to sign up for the newsletter. If you go to my blog, creativetreehouse.blog, where you'll also find all the measurements, you can sign up for my newsletter. And it's a weekly newsletter, and it tells you all the happenings in the Creative Treehouse for the week. It tells you about Stampin' Up specials and virtual get-togethers and in-person get-togethers. So we do have those in the Treehouse. We do both of them. So be able to meet needs for lots of different people. So again, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time in the Creative Treehouse. Bye-bye.